I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. Bristol City battered and bruised very much so in an away defeat at Blackburn Rovers. It ended yet again on the road in a 3-0 defeat for City. Blackburn 3, Bristol City 0. And another display lacking a lot of different things. This is a kind of raw reaction straight after the game. So yeah, why not? Let's go for it. This is the Bristol City team. I'm going to read out now. It was a Max O'Leary in goal. Oh, by the way, welcome back from the international break. I've been away for 2 weeks. And quite frankly, I think Bristol City have been, as well, clearly not showing up today. I'll talk about a lot of things in this video, which I'll address later on. But yeah, this is the Bristol City team. 2 changes from that away defeat at Pride Park just before the international break. Max O'Leary in goal, George Tanner, Zach Viner, Luke McNally was a change in the back line in place of Cal Naismith. Cam Pring played at left back. It was a midfield pivot of Jason Knight and Joe Williams. Max Bird, Mark Sykes and Scott Twine were the 3 off the front of Fally Mayulu, who actually started the game ahead of Sinclair Armstrong, who has started all the league games so far in the Bristol City shirt. For Rovers, it was Ainsley Pears, Owen Beck, Hyam, Bath, Carter, Tronstad, Travis midfield, Hedges, Dolan, Baker, and Yuki Hayashi, who had a brilliant game. Up top, the Japanese forward had a brilliant performance. City never got going, especially in that first half, but almost felt like Rovers were just allowed to just dictate things in the first half, and Bristol City just never looked comfortable, never got into the game, and certainly never got enough of a foothold in the game to carve out opportunities, to get a little bit of territory, and generally our midfield got overrun. Max Bird, Williams, Knight, nowhere near Tronstad and Travis and Baker, whoever it was in that midfield region for Blackburn. They just seemed like they just worked a lot harder than we did. They got in some very dangerous areas with Dolan and Hashi posing a real threat. And it didn't help by the fact that Max O'Leary decides for the first goal to give the ball straight to Lewis Travis. He is so uncomfortable in that position, Max O'Leary. It's initially George Tanner has the ball and he's facing backwards, gives it to Zach Viner quite a pace, and Viner's being closed down by Hashi, and then the ball goes back to Max O'Leary, and I don't know why he tries to pass it first time into the path of Joe Williams, who nowhere near it this season, quite frankly, to be honest with you, Williams. And he just kind of barged out of the way. Travis gets a hold of the ball. Max O'Leary is obviously on the edge of his own box, and he curls it past him, and that's 1-0. And even after that, you'd think maybe that it gives us a little bit of a kick up the arse, and then we go and try and force the issue a little bit more. It's still early on at that point in time, of 17 minutes in. Just nothing from this Bristol City side, and a real shift, a sea change really from the first 3 games, where whenever we did have the ball, it looked like we had a clear idea of what we were doing. It looked like we had a clear kind of structure in place. The patterns of play that were there. Absolutely none of that was on show today, and none of that was on show at Derby either. No clue what we were doing in possession. Kind of labelling of personnel's characteristics, and persisting with Scott Twine on the left wing, and keeping Joe Williams and Mark Sykes on that side. And I know a lot of people on social media have been kind of jumping on, why are they both playing, and they haven't warranted a start. And I was kind of holding back my thoughts on that a little bit, but honestly, Mark Sykes, absolutely dismal. Every time he got the ball, it felt like, oh Christ, where are we going? What's he doing with this? He always ran into a man. Absolutely dismal from Sykes and Williams. Well, we'll talk about Joe Williams in a minute. Half time comes about. Again, first half, nothing from Bristol perspective. No chances. Literally zilch. Fally Mayulu comes off for Sinclair Armstrong. I talked about this in a tweet at half time, actually. I said, well, Mayulu didn't really get anything into him and we did not play into his strengths. And whenever we did get the ball, well, it was kind of a mixture. We kind of booted it up towards him, kind of be a little bit direct. Also tried to play on the deck and try and get him in behind. Maulu got very little on the whole in the first half, so he couldn't really have done much more, to be quite frank with you. But a little bit anonymous, but do not blame him in the slightest. I get the Sinclair Armstrong coming on that substitution, because it gives us a little bit more in terms of running in behind, and maybe we just needed an outlet, and maybe that was the plan. But that lasted all for 10 minutes, because once it goes 2-0 and Yuki Ohashi scores that second goal, which is a wonderful finish, by the way, but still, that kills the game off there and then. Joe Williams is robbed in the middle of the park, and then Tyrese Dolan picks it up. He gives it to Ohashi, who's completely free down the right-hand side, because our fullbacks, who have been missing pretty much all season, quite frankly, defensively, this time was George Tanner. And I noticed every time Blackburn had the ball on the right on the wings, and they tried to put a ball into the box, there's always a man free, and you're kind of looking at the other fullback going, where the hell are you? And it's just complete kind of mismatch in a lot of different areas. But Ohashi, good curling finish with his right foot right into the top right hand corner to make it 2-0. And then we make a triple substitution, and the mind just boggles at this point. The mind just boggles, Liam Manning. Normally he makes a substitution 60-minute mark, doesn't he? And you're kind of going, right, it's always the same. It's kind of always a little bit tedious at some point. And he makes the triple sub. I know he made a change at half time, but that had minimal impact. Sinclair Armstrong had a couple of good openings, a few decent chances to kind of run in behind, but very little really. Hayden Roberts came on for Campering, and I thought Hayden Roberts was really good, actually, to be honest with you. I know it's kind of easy to say that when we're 2-0 down at that point, and later on 3-0 down as well, but he came on for Campering and just showed a little bit different, something different. And Mameti comes on for Joe Williams, and Yuhiro makes his second appearance for Bristol City in place of Mark Sykes, and the less we talk about the latter two coming off, the better, to be honest. And then it's kind of obviously forced kind of make a way into the game. Actually, Scott Twine has a really good couple of opportunities. One really good save by Ainsley Pears, and Hayden Roberts has a volley that hits the outside of the post. And it looks like we're kind of getting back into the game. At this point, it's about 65 minutes. We're looking better with the substitutions, with Sinclair Armstrong is a bit of pace, and Twine's moved centre into the more central positions, and we're looking a little bit better going forward. And then the game's just killed off after we lose the ball, and kind of out of shape on the counter attack. Ohashi with a brilliant run. He picks up the ball on the right hand side, and with the first finish was a really good right foot finish, right into the top corner. This is an unbelievable left foot finish past Max O'Leary. Max can't do anything about the latter two goals. Obviously, the first goal is his mistake that leads to it, but the latter two is just superb. McNally, I thought he had a relatively okay game on the whole. Didn't really do much wrong, to be quite honest with you, but yeah, he gets a little bit too easily skinned on that occasion, and that's 3-0, and that on 70 is the game. And honestly, there's no point talking about anything else that happens after that. Liam Manning talked about kind of the need for a defensive. Well, after the game at Derby, he kind of talked about the need to work on the defensive side of things during the international break, and that will be the primary focus. I saw none of that. I don't know about you, but I saw none of that on show. I saw none of that defensive work, if they did any, come through. And quite frankly, it was an embarrassing defensive performance, and it just feels like we're just being let down by silly errors, and we're being punished on every opportunity, and it's really, really frustrating. I'm not saying that we deserve to get anything from today, by the way, because we absolutely did not. Blackburn ran all over us, similar to Derby in a lot of ways, ran all over us, worked hard on us, killed us in midfield, and ultimately the pace out wide, and Yuki Ohashi being a really good finisher, killed us. Similar to what Derby did. Kane Jackson, Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, Jerry Yates all worked incredibly hard. Ozo, Adams, and Kenzo Godmine in midfield killed us. Overran, Bird, Knight, Williams, and Tronstad, Travis, Baker, Who else was it in midfield? Kind of Dolan and Hedges ran all over us and pressed the hell out of us, and we looked really uncomfortable on the ball at times. It kind of felt like we didn't know what we were doing with it. What Blackburn did, didn't deserve anything from the game. Full credit to Blackburn. Manning's kind of that argument down the drain, right? We didn't look good, better defensively than we did at Derby, and even with a change of personnel in terms of McNally coming in for Naismith, still nothing. And it feels like we've regressed from the start of the season in terms of how we are performing on the ball as well. At the start of the season, we looked kind of, we looked really good in terms of being able to knit together patterns of play and neat little exchanges between Bird, who was really good in the first 3 games. He's gone the last 2 games. Bird, Sinclair Armstrong, all of them kind of combining in the kind of front 4 region. That's gone as well. Mark Sykes, Joe Williams, well, they've really not started the season at all, really, and that's a real concern as well. We have got options though, and that also means we've got players who can come in, and hopefully that is going to be the case against Oxford next week. And actually getting that is now looking to be a really tough test because they're really flying, aren't they? Oxford under Buckingham. But yeah, it's really frustrating, really annoying, and quite frankly a little bit embarrassing. The last 2 games from a Bristol City perspective. I really don't know what else to say, quite frankly. This squad is so much better than what has been shown in the last 2 games. We're currently set at 17th in the league table, still, very embryonic stage of the championship table, but still kind of relevant in how we're getting on. Really good first 3 games, but ultimately we've only won 1 game out of the last 5. And I would not be surprised if there are some quite wholesale / key changes in key areas of the pitch. 2 key players who are shipped out of that first 11, starting 11 against Oxford. I'm talking Williams, Sykes, maybe even Campering, who when he went off and Hayden came on, he looks like a far better side as well. Matty didn't really show a lot when he came on, but I'm surprised if he starts on Saturday either. Just really, really, really infuriating. And yeah, not really got much else to say on that. Thank you very much for watching this match review. If you have any thoughts, let me know in the comment section down below. You can see that I'm quite, very annoyed from what I've just seen. At Ewood Park ended Blackburn 3, City 0. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Keep safe. I'll catch you all later. Cheers.